people how in action and how it is expressed, it's very crystal clear. You just have to watch them, then you know, oh, I understood the entire Vedas only through knowing Swami, nothing else. That is how he takes us to that Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. What is the Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam? To know that love is my form, bliss is my food, truth is my breath, bliss is my food, my life is my expanse. My sage, expansion is my life. That is the meaning of that verse. Then what happened? Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. The supreme divine consciousness is manifested as my being. This is all I need to know. Aditya Varnan Tamasah Parastat. Now, Tamasastu Pare is the first one. Tamasah Parastat. This divine being is far from darkness. This divine being is, this divine effulgence, this divine consciousness, tamasastu pare, is light years away from anything called darkness. And what is that darkness? No reason for love, no season for love, no birth, no death. Birth and death is darkness. To be way far away from the darkness is tamasak parastat. Tamevam vidman amrita iha bhavati. Then you know that by knowing that, you become amruta iha bhavati. When you know that you are beyond birth and death, who are you? Immortal being. And therefore, you are immortal. God is, I don't even know what God really means nowadays. The word God is like, yesterday we were doing this study circle on this multi-faith thing, and people translate, Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhuraktu, may God be with us, may God be this, may God be that. It is nothing to do with God. The mantra doesn't even say God. It is what you have infused as a separate word so that people will fear and start doing it. Because if the word God is not used, then what do they do? Oh, somebody didn't say, therefore I should not be doing it. If say God said it, then what? Oh, God said it, then I must oblige it, right? Same thing in corporations also. When you go and sit in a team meeting and you have a great idea and you're sharing it, nobody listens. All of a sudden you say, the vice president of research said, okay, what did the vice president say? Huh? Oh, the CEO said, and everybody will wake up. What did the CEO say? So therefore, in these mantras, when they translate, they always put this vice president and the CEO so that people will pay attention. But that's not what the mantra is saying. Let me be very clear. This is now completely radical talking to these guys. Now they're all saying, oh, there is no God? Oh, we are all free. We are happy now. We are relieved. There is nothing called God. Actually, there is nothing called God. There is only one thing called the divine consciousness and the being. Just be yourself in love, grounded in love. Don't worry about birth and death. Then what will happen? You are a complete happy being that is loving and serving everybody as yourself. Then what happened? You are God. Tamevam vidvan amrita iha bhavati. Nanya pandha vidyate ayanaya. Now all of a sudden, oh, I got the path. This path is way beyond anything called darkness. And what is the darkness? No birth, no death. Completely aligned in birth and death is darkness. When you are beyond all of that stuff, you are happy. You don't worry to suffer anymore. There is nothing called suffering. Brothers and sisters, there is nothing called suffering. The suffering is simply coming because you are not seeing yourself as complete. If you call this supreme consciousness I, and if you put in a dent in it, it's called identity. Even look at the words that we use, they have profound spiritual meaning. Identity means if you have the I and you put a dent in it, identity. And when you put a dent in it, what is this dent you are putting? The dent, the first dent is I am the body. The second dent is I am the mind. The third dent is, I am the father. The most unhappy dent is, I am the husband. Sorry, sisters, because there are only two kinds of people in this world. Happy people and married people. Sorry. Has nothing to do with my wife, okay? Okay. So, the context of this dent we are putting is, when we are not complete, we suffer. When we are complete, where is suffering? Right? No birth, no death. Right? Vedahametam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasah parastat tam evam vidvan amritayo bhavati. Nanyak pantha vidyate ayanaya. You don't even have to know about any other path. This is the path. This is it. Go figure out. What is that path? Love is my form. Truth is my breath. Bliss is my food. My life is my message. Expansion is my life. No reason for love, no duty. No season for love, no birth, no death. Now what is that path of life? You have to translate it into action. Now that is where the values come into picture. Then the next slokam is Prajapatischarati garbhe antaha. Now you should all chant because you are all suffering from happiness. Prajapatischarati garbhe antaha ajayamano bahuda vijayate tasya dhira parijananti yonim marichinam paramichanti vedasaha. Okay, let's pause there. What is this path that I have learnt now? Prajapatischarati garbhe antaha. Prajapati means the Lord of all beings. Praja means beings. Pati means Lord. Prajapati charati. Where does he hang out? Not in the Westlake Mall or some other mall. Prajapatischarati means where does he hang out? Where is he roaming around? Garbhe antaha. He is deep within you and he is wandering within you. Within who? Every being he is wandering. Prajapatischarati garbhe antaha. The Lord of all beings is actually dwelling within everybody. Ajayamano bahudha vijayate. Now this is a very important statement. Like last week we were talking about Swami's statement. Swami's statement of the one who has no birth actually happens to be taking several births. Ajayamano bahudha vijayate. The one who has actually no birth, because he has no birth, no death. Remember? That's the statement. Ajayamano bahudha vijayate. How come he seems to be having taken birth in so many places? That is the meaning of that. That means what? He didn't take birth in anybody. He simply got encapsulated. How did that happen? How do we understand that? Well, we just went to the example. When this space is converted into this hall, did you think, did the hall take birth or the space just made? You understand? That is what is called God entering. God is actually divided. Like the space is divided into many, God is simply just divided into many. He is not taken birth into many. Did you say the space all of a sudden took birth? Birth means what? It didn't exist before, now a new thing has come into existence. Was the space already there or did you give it new birth? The space did not take birth as a hall. It is simply that the space is simply encapsulated as a hall. Ajayamano bahudha vijayate means exactly that. That's what is referred in Advaita as Ghatakasha, Mathakasha. All these akashas that we, Ghata means a pot. The space in the pot, is it different from the space of a hall? Hello? No. Exactly. Similarly, the divine consciousness, Kanduva Guhinadhika Mulindu Levu, Andariki Srikare Antaratma, means that. Annamaya said that. There is nothing called big space, small space, little space, big space, myspace.com and other stuff. There is nothing called all of that stuff. Space is space. Similarly, Ajayamano Bahudha Vijayate. Whether it is a beast, whether it is a twig, whether it is a plant, whether it is a great Mahatvyaha, Shullakebhyaha. Mahatvyaha means realized souls. Shullakebhyaha, completely dumb fellows, idiots, fools, whatever. Everybody, the space inside them is the same. No different. Ajayamano Bahudha Vijayate. Tasya dhiraha parijananti yonim marichinam padamichanti vedasaha. This is exactly what the statement means. Ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti. That divine consciousness is one, but the wise choose to call it by different names and forms. Tasya dhiraha parijananti yonim. The secret. Yoni means the secret here. This is how the greatest ones realize the secret. What is the secret? What is the secret?
Everything is love. I am love.
What is the secret? The previous statement is the secret. The previous statement secret is the Lord of beings is actually inside, and the one who is inside did not take birth in all of them. He has no birth or death. It is just the divine consciousness is separated into many beings. And the inside of every being is the only one. And that one is the divine consciousness. This is how you understand the secret of spirituality is encapsulated. Now, is this anything to do with Hinduism? So far, in the entire conversation of 1 hour or 45 minutes we have been having, is there anything about Hindu? Veda Saha means this is what the Vedas are describing. So the essence of the entire creation, universe, everything came from this knowledge, the supreme knowledge, which is eternal. Means what? It is unchanging. Therefore, the Vedic knowledge is the supreme knowledge. It is nothing to do with Hinduism or any ism. Once we know this, that this ism is the bad word, now you start encapsulating, oh, Krishna is only my God. If you don't worship Krishna, then you go to hell. Jesus is my only God. If you don't worship Jesus, you go to hell. Shiva is my only God. If you don't worship Shiva, you go to hell. Who created this? The human created this. But the Vedas, the supreme knowledge is saying, nothing to do with any isms, fellows. This is the way of living. The way of living is know that the Lord of all beings is encapsulated. He didn't have any birth or death, because the moment you decide to convert this hall into something else, you simply remove the walls. Then the space has not changed. The space has not changed, you simply remove the walls. Similarly, what happened? When the time comes, these walls have to be dissolved. Nothing happened to this space. What has come and gone is simply the body.
So this weekend, I mean, we chant this Nirvana Ashtakam almost every Shivratri. Right? So I was going through Nirvana Ashtakam.
Yes.
Just over the weekend.
Yes.
Cousin was there, so I was, and kind of same thing that.
Yes.
And
The same thing is
in a very simpler form. I
exactly
am not this,
this.
I am not this, I am not this.
The same thing is said so many different ways, so that when you get bored of chanting Purusha Suktam, you go chant Nirvana Suktam. Then what happens? It says the same thing, but now you are enjoying the same substance in a different way. Exactly what happens with religion. Same thing only. Suddenly one guy called Moses decides, I got to say it differently. Now then what happens? Everybody, oh, Moses said this. Let's go, Moses, go. Jesus, go. And the guys are saying the same damn thing. But what we are saying is, oh, I really like only what Moses said, Then I am a Jew. I like only what Jesus did, then I am a Christian. That's all it is about. Nothing else. You choose your role model and go with it. That's why Bhagavan said, no matter what path you choose, Just be in that path and continue to execute in the path. Then what happens? You go to the summit of the mountain. When you go to the summit of the mountain, suddenly you look down the mountain and see, oh my God, there are so many different ways to come to the summit. I thought my way is the only way. And now I come to the summit and say, oh, beautiful. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Tasya dhirah parijananti yonim marichinam padamichanti vedhasaha. Marichi is the, yes, Amma, somebody raised hand, yes.
But the denial of personality, everybody can go back saying, I am the consciousness, but a personality also comes up, where the identity, the small ego is there. Can you also expand on that personality, small ego, so that people just don't deny its existence, but recognize its existence and understand what it is, for what it is?
Yes. That is the bottom line. Every spirituality is a very selfish business. At the end of the day, whether Moses did it, Jesus did it, or whoever, or even Sai Baba did it, it doesn't matter to you. You got to take that path, you got to walk on the path, you got to reach the destination. It is very simply like all these gurus and great role models are like road maps. They only say, take this exit, this is the path you got to go. When you're going to the summit, they put the trailer and they put the path. Each trailer is one guru and a character. They just put the trail for you to go so that your life becomes easy to go to the summit. You don't have to carve your own path. That is the purpose of a guru, is simply to put the trail you. If you simply say, sit at the trail, my trail ay namaha, my book ay namaha, my this ay namaha, my that ay namaha, put that Ramayana at the altar, put your Bible at the altar, but you have no clue what the Bible is saying. You simply are stuck on the path and you are not walking on the path. Once this awareness, tasya dhira parijananti yonim marichinam padamichanti vedasa. I will complete this one and then the rest of it we will complete next week. Yes, next week, 18th, we'll have the class. Okay? So with 18th we'll complete the
following.
Emma?
Next week is 10.
Oh, next week we don't have class, I'm sorry. So 18th we'll complete it. So marichinam padamichanti vedasaha. Now I want you to do some research, figure out why this guy Marichi is all of a sudden mentioned in this. That is the homework for the class. I won't spill the secret. Yes? You had a question, huh? Okay. You're just stretching. Very good. Thank you for clarifying your intent. Okay. So, Marichinam Padamichanti Vedasa means the greatest ones like Marichi have emulated this path. So go figure out. Now you see, somebody's name is mentioned all of a sudden. Very perfect question you asked. Why did you mention all of a sudden, like this happened in Purusha Suktam before also? Dhata Purastadya Muda Jahara, Shakra Pravidvan Pradishascha Tasraha. Two guys were mentioned. One was Brahma and Indra. Right? Now Marichi's name is mentioned in the Veda. Why is Marichi's name mentioned? That's the question we have to figure out. Who is Marichi? What's the big deal about him? And why do we need to know what Marichi did for us to understand this path? That's the homework. Maybe we'll ask Uma to come and share that on the 18th. Yes? Yes, Uma, you're signing up? Okay. Clearly, are you doing like this or like that? Okay, thanks. We'll close with Om and Tri Shantis. And there is study circle going on, Dharma Vahini. And it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal disposition by Bhagavan what Dharma actually means. It is so phenomenal that here is what struck me last week when we were going through that was, just 50, 60 years ago, Bhagavan wrote a book called Dharma Vahini, and we are trying to read that, and we cannot even commonly understand what God is saying 50, 60 years ago. Can you imagine what was actually, these Vedas and Shastras and stuff like what Moses said, what Jesus did many, many centuries ago, or even thousands of years ago? How far we are separated from ourselves to understand the divine knowledge. That is what struck me last week after study circle is, people do not even understand the words karma, dharma, what it means and how we apply it in our life, right? It's not that you have to learn it exactly the same way. Now we are contextualizing and applying that Dharma Vahini in our own practical lives. And so that is what study circle is about. And so please take the opportunity to not just come to study circle and shoot off your hip on what you think at that time, but take it as a serious study. One of the codes of conduct in Sai 10, with the 9 principles of code of conduct is regular study of Sai literature. Why that is important? Because that expands your awareness and consciousness. Jai Sai Ram. Om Shanti.